Good afternoon, everyone, and I'm very glad to show you that uh, the second series of Learn and Opening in half an hour. And you maybe see that the second topic of this series is the mini Chinese opening. And the mini Chinese opening is start with a 4-3 point, and then um, a corner approach, and this one, and to approach back, to extend back. So now usually that white will make this move to uh, divide the black's module, and if not, maybe white can make this corner approach, or uh, he can make this move. And in the opening, we usually say that every move is okay. So usually that black have three choice right now, more than three, and we are going to explain them one by one. First of all, we are going to explain these three moves, and usually that A is the first choice of black when black want to attack white from the top. So now let's see A first, and then white will uh, play this move to settle down the A stone. So usually that black have this one and this move, these two moves to attack white. So let's see this first. And this is the very popular Joseki when about 10 years ago when I was a child. My teacher tells me that this is the most popular Joseki, but now we see with the AI appears, the Joseki is no longer popular. So now we are going to check. White will settle down with this move, and now black play this one. White push, cut, Atari, capture, and then this move. So after this move, this Joseki is stopped right now, and let's see. The white will play this one, and black will play this one. So the Joseki here is stopped, and for white, white will maybe protect his corner, and it's a normal opening. So usually we think that this move here, A is better than B and C because this group for white is really thick right now. So if you play B, and here is a invasion in corner is D. If you play C, so usually that white have an approach or invasion at A. So usually black will choose A for the answer when white play this move. Uh, from the other side, black can play this one or this one. So we are going to explain it one by one. So still continue this one. Is play this one and to attack. So white will play this one to answer, and now black can play this to answer white's move. So white need to go out. If you do not go out, you play like this one, and I will push, and you honey again. And then now you see that this stone is really weak, and you need to get out. So if you get out, I can attack. Then I think I can attack again. Continually attack. So this is a Joseki that is really hard for white. Okay, so usually that white need to reinforce him, and now black to this one is really hurtful for white. White need to reinforce, so now we cannot push and cut because here is a double Atari. So the Tsuji here is to play this one. Seems really stupid, but it's really effective, because if white play this one or play this one, and then black can reinforce his corner. Now we see that 10, 20, 30. Over 30 points is a very good opening for black. And now we see that 6 white stones only capture 1 stone and get about 10 points, and is not effective for white and effective for black. So I prefer black right now. If you do not protect this area and you play this one, and I will directly push and cut. And now it's a very hard game for white, because now we see that white have 1 group, 2 group, and 3 group. A, B, C, 3 groups. It's really hard for white to fight here. Okay, so this is not good for white, and now we see that what if white push get up here. Now if black play this one like Chinese opening, and now white will play this one. This is seems white is okay, because white now settled down already, and then later white still have something to do here. So this corner is actually not big enough and not solid. So I prefer white right now. But now black have another one. So if black play here, if white honey, and then I will cut. And this is a fight that not good for white. If white extend, then black will honey and connect. And you get down here, and I will just answer here. Now you see that black have obviously, and black have more stones here. Also 2 weak group for white, and only 1 weak group for black. A, B group, and only C group is a weak group for black. So this fight is black is better. So if white extend, then black will just push, and then to protect his corner. Now we see that this corner is huge. So usually that professional players will choose black at this situation, because you can get much points in the many points in the beginning. That is good sign for you. And now we see that the A with A stone and with B wall, and now this is ineffective. So usually that's a reason for players that they would like to choose black right now. Okay, so now let's see another answer for this one and this one. So now let's see what is the usage of this one. So before to explain the attack of this one, I would like to review the last one. And for white, okay, this is the Joseki that we played first of all. Usually players would like to choose white, because black only get about 15 to 20 points here, but white have already settled down here. It's about 7 points, and when we play a game with 7.5 komi, and this territory is not enough for black, so this is better for white. So now black come up with an idea that we play this first. So now for white, have two answers. One is to jump up, another is to block. Now we see that now we see the first one. If black to get down here, and then white will play this one, and this is an opening, and we do think that white is flexible. It's good for white because white is thick and alive. The corner of black is really small, so we prefer white right now. So if black just play this one, and white will just come up, and black got a center here, just like when white play this one, and black answer here, and white played this one. This one seems really slow, but we do think that it's okay for white because white is really thick right now. Okay, now let's continue. This one, and then I think we would like to think that black will play this one and then this one. So for this Joseki, and we do think that both of them are okay. It's a fair Joseki. So now if white block, then black can play this one. And if white want to get up, and then black can Atari. If you want to get this way, and I can just capture, and it's capture in the middle. It's really influential for white, for black, and then black can reinforce his corner again. So this is obviously bad for white. And if white want to say that, okay, I'm not okay with the Joseki just now, so I want to Atari here. Now remember that you cannot Atari here. You do not have a Joseki which is as important as this one. So usually that we Atari here. You capture, and I can play this one if you capture again. So I can get down here. So now we see that the stone at A place has huge differences with the stone at B. So obviously B is much better than A. So we will open this call at A place. So if you just play this one and I play this one, you block, I will capture, and now you just connect here. Now please focus on the next move. Black play this again. So now if you jump, now black is Atari, open this call and play this one. You cannot capture this. You capture an Atari, you connect. Now you see white is facing a big loss here. This is a big loss for white, both on the outside and the inside. It's really bad for white. So if white play this one, now we see that white is collapsed. It's totally collapsed. The game is over. So usually that this is not good for white. So white usually just capture and black come back, and white honey is extend. So usually we think that this Joseki is good for black. We see that it's huge potential for black in this area. Okay, so if white do not get up here, so white will just play this one into the corner. And now we see that if black play this again, it's much different with the Joseki just now. This exchange is obviously good for black because if we will play the Joseki, the first Joseki, this exchange is obviously unavailable for black. Okay, so when we play this Joseki like this, we usually think that it's good for. I think it's a fair Joseki. Okay, another one. Without this attach, black can also press this one, and you push, I block, and then you connect, play this one, and then you will play this one. So for this Joseki, I think it's fair Joseki right now because white got many points below, but black got his potential in the middle. So the result of this game is decided by this fight in the below side, in the side here. Who are more strong in the fight, who will win the game, I think. Okay, so now let's go to another place. So when black play here, so now let's make a conclusion of this one. So usually black play this one. He want to suppress the white's two stones. So white will just jump up. Now we see that here are two choices for black. One is here, one is here. So we usually that black will play this one and then white get this one. So this is a fair Joseki for both of them. And I maybe prefer white because white is thick and actually is a fair Joseki. Okay, so when black play here and white play this one, now we see there is another Joseki here. Black can press and white can push and get back. Now this is a little bit, this Joseki has little differences with the last one because if you want to play this again, I won't connect. Instead, I will play this one to extend my shape, and also I can get more points and I'm more steady. But the pressure on a stone is lighter than the last one. So I think this is this Joseki for white is better than the Joseki white, the stone with circle, play this one. So I think white is a little bit better. Okay, so now when black play this one, and why not black block here? Okay, this is a long story for this Joseki, and I'm going to explain this as simple as possible. So, we all know that the mini Chinese opening have two forms. One is black play here, one is here. So I'm going to briefly introduce that when black stone is at B place, so this is okay, but if black stone is here, A place, this is not okay for black. So let's make some brief introduction here. So push, and all of this is directly, so this is simple. And now we see that white will play this one and honey connect and get down here. So now we see that white can jump here. If you push, I can push up, and now we see that this exchange is not good for black because black got about 20 points but still have a bad RG inside, but white have already divide or collapse the black's Moyo here, so this is obviously bad for black. Okay, so now we see that if the stone A are at B place, now we can get back a little bit. Now we see if the stone A are at B place, the game is totally different. This is a very complicated area, so I will introduce this in next video. Okay, so now let's get back. I told you that without A, B, and C, there is still two choices for black. It's D and E. Okay, about 10 years ago, Mr. Gu Li he would like to play this more than anyone other players. He would like to choose this one, and white will play this one, and then white will play this crow again, and you honey, and I will honey again. If you play this, and I will extend here. So we see that although black got much more potential here, white already settled down. But now we see that before white honey, there is one counter attack for white. White can bend here. So Mr. Luo Xihe, who is a world championship, and he got the Samsung Cup 12 years ago. He played this one, and he introduced this Joseki to us that if black connect, then white can extend. This is good for white because white's shape is extended, and also the black's corner still have a bad RG. So, but some students raise a question at what if I attack you? So how can you settle down if you honey and I get back here? You are not settled down. So he answers that I can play this one. Now this is a really good answer. If you get down, and I will cut, and now you see this is a bad ladder for black. So if you want to get back at a place, you need to play this first, and now we can get up first, and then I can play this one. You need to play here, and I can jump out. So first of all, I have already reduced all of your Moyo below, and also you got only about 10 points. Still, you cannot attack my group. Your group is weak, and also I have some I shape here, and maybe I can have a knight at A, have a knight at B. So I'm not worried about my two groups. So this is not good for black. So usually white will play here, and black connect, and white play this one. So this is usually people think that this is good for white. Also, if white play here, here is another choice for black. Without this one, black also connect here. If white extend, black can get down here. This is different because this exchange at A and B, usually professional players think that this exchange is bad for white because it helps black to reinforce the territory in the corner. So like a compensation for their mind, so they would like to choose this Joseki for white. Okay, so now let's come to the last one. Okay, let's make the conclusion for the D points. And when play D, and you just crawl and crawl, and then I get up here. So if you attack me from this side, I can play this one. If you connect, then I can get into the corner. If you play this one, remember that it's not hurry to connect because we can reserve this Atari. So professional players would like to play this press first before they connect. Okay, so now let's see. If black want to counterattack, then white can cut, and you cannot directly get back from A because I can kill these two stones with a ladder. So your Atari get back. Okay, this is a fight that white would not fear about that. Okay, now let's come to the last one. E. Actually, E is also an interesting uh, place for black. If white honey, and then white can play this, but usually player won't play this one because they think that they sacrifice so many points here. If you get inside but cannot make leave, you will lose the game. So usually professional players won't sacrifice such many points here, and usually they will play this one first, and if black honey and white will Tenoki here, you push again. Before that, I think you would like to play this one, and then remember not to click the San, and remember before that you need to reinforce here. If you play San and they will play this one, you cannot abandon these three stones by this one, and I can get down here, or I can press here. So this is really bad for white. So if you connect, I can just connect our stones again. You need to get back here, and then this is a huge moyo for black, and I don't think this is good decision for white. So usually before that, white will play this one and black play this, and white jump. So now we see that big potential for black is in the right bottom corner, but it's really hard for black to turn it into the territory. Usually if black play here, and white later can have some method to reduce the black's potential. So this is a Joseki here, and I think it's a fair Joseki, both okay for black and white. And now we see that there are 5 answers for black, all of this, and I will review it again. So first we from the close one. Okay, this is the Joseki, but I think this Joseki is too old, but you need to know this. Okay, again, the second one. Okay, this may be the second one. Now let's come to the third one. this one, or this one, or this one. ABC, these three are the seems like the same. This one first, we come to this one. This is the first Joseki I introduced to you. I think this is a nice Joseki for white. When black gave about 7.5 Komi, it's bad for black. So if black push, white will push and then get this one. Also, if white want to get a center here, white can leave this area, but this bend is really huge here. If black play this one, white just jump and to attach, or we can see that extend here. So this is a fair Joseki again. So remember this important Joseki here, and you will get a brief introduction of the mini Chinese opening, and I hope this will help you. You can learn this really slow and maybe set minutes by minutes. This is some Josekis or some variations in the mini Chinese opening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and you can leave message in our YouTube video. Okay, thank you for your listening.